Okay, so it's the next day. This feels pretty dry, which is good. You can see it's a little warped, but I don't know, big fucking deal. So this one's in here rock solid. So what I'm gonna do today is try to finish this completely. I'm going to glue the foam to these pieces, and then I'm going to cut the overlaps where I need to cut them. And then it should fit pretty well together. Let's get started. So the first piece I'm gonna anchor is the forehead. Because I think there's basically like no variance with which way this thing can go. I just need to make sure I have the direction correct, you know, up or down, and I'm going to do that by fitting in one of the side pieces here. So this piece goes here, meaning I'm going to use this as a reference point. I think I might just glue this in now because it's extremely obvious that this piece goes here, and there's no way that can change positions, and there's nothing in here that I need to cut, I think. So I'm going to double check that is true, and then I'm probably just going to glue this in, and that's going to be my first piece for the rest of the helmet. I'm just going to line up this forehead piece here just to see what it looks like at its current length. Alright, you can see it's way over. So this forehead piece is going to need cut, which is fine. I'm going to glue this in now, and then I'm going to glue the rest of the stuff from there. Alright, so what I'm doing now is just seeing where the holes line up and where there's an overlap between this base piece and the foam piece, because wherever that overlap is where I'm going to dab glue. Looks good. So I'm going to stick this on and hold it for 45 seconds. Okay, that one's done. I'm going to do the other side. Good news is, this doesn't have to be perfect. Because you're going to be cutting it to fit, even if this is off by like, millimeters or something, it's okay, because I'm just going to, the surrounding pieces I'm going to cut so that it just hugs my face. Okay. Now, I'm going to do the forehead piece because I can line it up dead center. Not that I actually have to, because I'm just going to be cutting the sides however I want. But so I'm just going to take my marker. I'm going to look for the point at which the one piece starts and the other piece ends. Important, with it pressed against the helmet. Not that this matters because I'm going to cut it, but I have it upside down. Just makes it a little easier to visualize the correct angle on the cut. Cutting is destructive, so you got to make sure you get it right the first time. gonna hold this down, and it looks like there. This side's a little hard to see, so I'm just gonna kind of guess. Yeah, that makes sense because it's almost, so you can see here now this, well, let's take it off. Try that. Put this back dead center. I say dead center, but I mean, I really don't know that if it's dead center. Probably not. And also, it's definitely not dead center because the center is now shifted due to the cut. So let me see. So what I'm looking for now is if this is good enough to seal. This is the gap here. I mean, I think that looks pretty good. This is not going to be in the way of the viewport of the cage, so I'm pretty happy with this. So now I'm just going to line the other one. I'm going to make that cut, but I'm going to make it a little extra, a little longer, or sorry, a little left over, just in case, because if I had a little extra on this side, it'd be okay because this would just extend further, but if I cut too much off of this one, then I will not have any more material to correct my error. So hopefully we can see that okay. It's kind of interesting. I'm able to see like right down the mask and through this hole and this hole. That was great. All right, so I have that. I'll line it up. My cut. All right, there it is. So yeah, this is a good learning opportunity because if you'll see here, I didn't press as much as I should have on here. So at the time when I cut it, this was actually coming off a little bit. So I'm lucky I cut that little extra bit because when I actually press this against the face mask like it would be when I'm wearing it, you can see there's a little bit of a gap. So no big deal. It's not enough to cause any damage, I don't think. So I'm happy with this. I'm just going to glue it right here as it is and then move on to the next piece. So I'm going to be a little extra with this glue because I do not want this coming off. I have no idea if that actually is going to work or not. I'm just being overly nervous and probably wasting glue. Okay, so that's in place. I'm going to smush it up against the face mask here. Timer on the phone. And just hold it. If I let it go, it stays, so that's good. Hopefully that means the glue's set enough where I don't need to babysit it. This is a little weird. This overlap I don't like. I'm guessing this came just from the way that I removed the harness and maybe heated it and scraped it. It probably warped it because I don't remember this being the case when I was just wearing my helmet with the previous foam on it. So it barely comes into the mask. I'm probably just gonna ignore it, but if it ends up being obstructive, then I'm just gonna cut this piece off because this little harness here extends below the foam, so I can just cut the harness off where it is. But you can see on this side, you know, there's like, you know, it's right on the same plane as the opening. So I don't know why that happened, but big deal. Now I have to do this piece, Well, I don't have to, but I'm choosing to because I just feel like it's time. I feel like this is going to be a bit of a hassle because it's got all these floppity flops. So I wanna save these pieces for last, just because like emotionally, it's better for me to conclude the job on simple pieces than the other way around. So let's stick this in here. Squish this up against here. I'm trying to be pretty careful not to push the forehead piece down. So you can see it's kind of messed up because this is extending way further than the slot. So, you know, be careful. If you're me, just be careful. All right, that looks pretty good. So when I mush this down so it's flush, the top piece lines up pretty great with the fabric slot. So I think that's good. So let's see if I can get away with cutting this without, sorry, gluing first and then cutting. I'd like to, just because these are all floppy, but I don't know, maybe I should just say fuck it. So yeah, it looks like it lines up pretty good, but it's not, this one's not, no, I guess it's okay. You can see on this, you can see some of the fabric in there, so that's probably fine. You know, I don't think it's gonna affect the way the straps fit. It's just, once again, like this, they claim this is for this helmet, and I don't know, there's just not that much to vary. I'm guessing they used like a pattern from a previous helmet. They ripped the foam off and probably just drew it out. So I'm surprised there's even this amount, but I mean, maybe the old foam had the same problem. So either way, I'm gonna mark this up. Start my cutting. So I'm lining up this hole here as that's like my anchor point. And then just eyeballing this thing, it looks like it's about here. Oh, actually, that's gonna be a hassle. So what I forgot was that this is not a straight line. This piece actually goes like some kind of angle here, so I'm just gonna have to go one at a time. This is gonna be annoying. We'll just try to cut it right on here. Let's see. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stick my scissors in here alongside of the inside of this foam until it contacts the curve like this. So I don't know if you can see that, but I basically stuck my scissors in, stopped against the foam, so I know that the scissors stop where the foam stops. And I'm going to use that to cut this. So, not great. It's flexing the foam. So I snipped that. Yeah, see, this is, look, I don't know. It's so strange. So yeah, now there's a little bit of gap here, but again, big deal. Just a little space. It's not gonna save a concussion. So I'm actually gonna just do the same thing on this side. So it's pretty good here. Apologies if I don't get this angle great with the camera. Actually, you know what? You know what I realized? This extends all the way to the corner. I literally cut past the corner, so maybe I don't need to do that scissor trick. I can just kind of look at it. Yeah, let me just. Problem is I just don't want to take this thing out. I'm being lazy. Okay. Cut that off. Okay, well, that one's better. That one's better because bumps up pretty close to the other one. So yeah, I think that's good. So let me put a little mark. And here, that's kind of where the thing starts, and then it looks like it just stops like right here. So this dot floating in the circle here, I looked up, I looked at the inside of this corner, and I put a dot there, and I'm just gonna make a cut. And it would probably be easier if I just ripped this whole thing out. Like if I pulled this out and started cutting, but honestly, I'm just really don't want to. I'm just gonna do little cuts at a time. All right, so that's pretty good. So at this point, I'm not even dotting, I'm just cutting out like slivers at a time until it fits. Hey, all right, that's pretty good. These lines aren't parallel, but I don't know, that doesn't seem very important, so I'm good with this part. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side and then move to the bottom piece. I need to fix this overlap here. Instead of cutting this piece, I'm gonna cut this one if I can. Yeah, this one is just a tiny little sliver, but unfortunately it's where this thing is, and I don't know, it's probably okay if I cut this little piece off, and because I'm gonna glue it to the back, so I don't think it's gonna go anywhere, so I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna cut the bottom of this, just be done with it. The nice thing is this kit wasn't, I mean, it was like $100, so it was not cheap, but it's just foam. And so this isn't going to be a piece that protects my life. So I'm not broken up about, you know, now this looks pretty ugly. So tell you what, I'm gonna start gluing this now because I did this whole thing without even removing this. So I think I can finish this side with the glue in it. So gently pull this out here without. So I'm just going to glue the central column, the central piece, so I can leave myself, you know, the ability to flap these open. So you can see I'm kind of holding this in a way where I can just slide it in here. This, you know, I'm doing it. So you hold it like this, and then you can stick it in without sliding glue around. In there now. Put this top piece in. Now that's the bottom. Line it up. This thing's lined up. I'm just going to hold this here for 45. All right. So my timer went off. It's clearly set. It's kind of hard to peel off. The only problem is I have this little gap here, whereas when I measured these and cut them, I didn't. So, I mean, this is only like a couple millimeters, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. But, you know, that did happen. So, something to keep in mind. And this worked out. This piece is now glued like dead center on that slot. So this looks good. I'm going to glue this now. Get it out of the way. Place. I could probably hold this in place better if I just put it on my face while it was drying, instead of using all this weird hand figures. All right, so lastly, I'm going to trim this like I trimmed the other side. And the instructions did imply this is supposed to be like a pretty clean job, so I'm sure just the way I disassembled these things probably has a lot to do with the fact that it just doesn't fit very well, or sorry, it doesn't fit perfectly. Though I am going to split this glue job up. I'm going to leave this for the end because it just doesn't align exactly correct. Well, this one's a little ugly because of my stupid fingers, so big deal. I'm just gonna dab some glue on this little strip here, and it doesn't fit perfectly, but I think it still fits enough where the helmet's gonna be able to strap on just fine. Okey doke. I think we're in. Yeah, so you can see this is not perfect. I don't think it matters whatsoever, other than it just bothers me. So I'll have to learn to live with it and put it on my face and see how it goes. Well, fits my face, so mission accomplished. All right, so something interesting. I put this piece on and you can see it overlaps with this strip here. So actually I should have cut this totally off. So I'm just gonna try to do that while it's glued on. I should be able to. Okay, yeah, that fits a lot better now. So I'm gonna stick this on here, and this side should be done. Timer. Make the same cut with the other side. Just make sure you don't cut the harness under it. Or, I don't know, do, maybe you don't care. Alright, that looks pretty good. Okay, looks like we're in. Now, you can already see this is like, I mean, it's glued, but the underlying harness is warped, so this thing's a little floppy. I'm just gonna play some games and see how it feels. If it's driving me crazy, or if the back plate is like damaging this or pulling it off, or there's any kind of effects, then I might just dab some super glue under this, just glue it here. Or maybe there's like mask glue or something that is closer to the adhesive that was on here when I found it. All right, so now I'm gonna check, I'm gonna fit test this with the chin cup. I should have definitely fit tested this before putting on the panels, the foam, because if this was, let's say I had this backwards, I would be completely screwed and would have to just take the whole thing apart or figure out a way to rerun this fabric. All right, so ironically, I did put this on backwards. So I'm gonna take this off, flip the fabric around and put it back on. I'm extremely lucky that that's the only mistake I made. Just to go this way, I think. That's better. Now these ends will actually bind. I'm not tightening this down all the way because I want to just line up the Velcro. And then when it is lined up all the way, I can tighten it down and the Velcro will hold itself in place. Because a lot of times if you tighten this screw down, it's going to rotate the fabric under it with the screw post. And I do not want that, so put that there. Stick it on my face. Feels good. So all I did with this one was just line it up and smush it on. Well, looking at it now, it's a little crooked, but I'm not going to see it behind the chin cup. So I went on the Resilience website just to see if I was missing anything with this before I glue it on, but it doesn't look like it. So I think this piece just glues on without any of the foam backing, unless they just send me a, faulty foam or something. But I don't really care that much. I'm just going to throw it on and be done with it. If it falls off, then I will contact them. Okay, so I think that's all the foam. I'm not actually sure what this does. Maybe goes in a strip here, I don't know. Really don't know. This just looks like backer, so I don't know, maybe one of these things. Not sure. The last thing I'm going to do is install the receptacles for a sweatband. I mean, it's pretty obvious these go on here just because, previous foam, that's the way it was set up. But they just sent me this little paper instructions. And I don't know, it would have been nice if there was an itemization of the pieces. So unlike the previous ones, I'm going to dab this. 1, 2. Now remember, I have PTSD from my last helmet because this specific one fell off about 10 times. So I'm very enthusiastic if this super glue holds. Now remember, wait to use this because it's gonna smell like super glue. Good. So, I'll just, good. Extra bit butter, like, yeah, more to, yeah, I think I should like it. Over there, break it. Just don't use that. Yeah, but what? This is Sweet. Okay, all done. Foam's in, cage is on. Looking pretty good, so I think it's game ready. Probably just buy a new chin cup. So yeah, looks good. I put it on my big fat head, so it fits great.